You are probably struggling with these resources, and do not worry because in today's video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to get them. My name is Anthony Josh Pros, but you can call me AP for short, and welcome back to another Battle Nations video. How to obtain merits. If you're looking to get merits, the only way currently to get merits is just assisting buildings at Ryuko Ridge or Port City. Now, there might be a few other locations later on in the game that maybe I haven't unlocked. When assisting a building, the drop rate for it, it's going to be 10% per assist. These merits can be very, very useful for later on in the game, mainly for buying SP boosts that help a lot with unit promotions and grinding. How to obtain teeth. Teeth is not a hard resource to obtain, honestly. As of right now, one of the main priorities for teeth is kind of just getting those early battle raptors and those war mammoths as well. I would think the battle raptors at the end of the day is probably priority, as this was such an early unit for me that carried me throughout my gameplay so much. Now, how do you get teeth? Well, you can actually obtain teeth through doing the critter encounters. That's going to be your raptors, your boars, your mammoths, and for per encounter, it is a 10% drop rate for one teeth. For some reason, it's called teeth, not tooth. Teeth. I just click record. That's all I do. Now, critters aren't the only way to get teeth here. If you have naval unlocked, that means you're allowed to fight the reef bandits. And for the reef bandits, it is going to be a 10% drop for one teeth per encounter. And finally, since having naval unlocked, you probably have the fishing grounds location as well. Here, you will meet monster groupers. And man, these things suck. But for doing these encounters, you do actually have a 10% drop rate for 2 to 3 teeth per encounter. So if you are in a teeth drought, I'm gonna be honest, that really sucks because I've never heard of that before. So okay, well, there has been an update with the game, and it actually brought back one of the missions where you actually get to fight the Kraken. Now, the drop rate for the Kraken is going to be 100% for 4 to 8 teeth. How to get skulls. Skulls is definitely another important resource for us, as they can make allied cannoneers, which are fantastic units. They can also make one of the better shops for gold production, which is the Sandworm Ranch, costing us roughly about 20 skulls. Later down the line, we also have the ability to make Reef Bandit powerboats and jet skis, which also cost a lot of skulls, and I'm pretty sure they're missions too, so I definitely would watch out for this. But when you're looking at trying to obtain some skulls, you're going to be actually looking at missions. Missions are probably one of the best ways to obtain skulls, in my opinion. If you're facing Lieutenant Shrunk, if you're facing Crazy Blades, or even Sauron, all these Raider Lieutenants give you some amount of skulls. But missions are obviously not forever. So how else can we get skulls? Well, you're going to be actually looking at fighting raiders that spawn on our outposts. Per raider encounter, you have about a 10% drop rate for one skull. And these raiders do share counter spawns with raptor lords and mammoths, and I think that's all that spawns on our base. I honestly couldn't remember. Lastly, another way to obtain skulls is fighting against the reef bandits. Now, reef bandits, they do spawn in a lot of areas, so you could really farm these a ton and get a lot of skulls yourself if you really needed to. But reef bandits are a bit harder than most of the raider formations, so I would definitely make sure you have a good naval army. That being said, have a lot of M10s. If you have a lot of M10s, honestly, you're going to be fine. For reef bandit drop rates, it's going to be 10% for one skull per encounter. Now, like I said earlier in the video, the update just recently came out as I was quite literally finishing this video, and we do get another way to get skulls, which is by doing the Kraken, and for that, we have a 100% rate drop for 5 to 10 skulls. Now, this thing is not respawnable until like level 40-ish, but once it's respawnable, this is a great way to farm for skulls. How to obtain bars. Now, bars are something else, because I definitely see a lot of you guys, a decent amount of you guys, becoming soft lock within the game. And what does that mean? Roughly around level 25 to 26, where you have to make 2 destroyers. Earlier in the game, you do get bars from Siege of Marin and other smaller missions as well. But what people end up doing is spending these bars on healing their TF2 units or buying field agents, which isn't that bad, but here's the issue. Around level 25, 26, you do get a mission to make 2 destroyers. Some people spend their bars before they can actually do those destroyers because each destroyer costs 3 bars. And well, that is when they soft lock themselves, because I'm pretty sure you have to do this mission to actually be able to have naval encounters spawn into the game. One of the best ways to obtain bars is doing missions. Like I said earlier, this Siege of Marin gives a ton of bars, and some of the earlier naval missions also give bars as well. I believe there's this awesome graphic that was made by Nightsen that helps some players how many bars they exactly need for that mission so they don't end up being soft locked. Other ways to get bars is through naval encounter. Now, when facing Sovereign Navy, you do have 20% drop rate of 1 to 2 bars per encounter. And we also have some bosses that also drop bars as well. When it comes to the Dreadnought, you have a 100% drop rate for a chance to 5 to 10 bar. And for the Ancient Construct, you do actually have a 100% drop rate for 20 whole bars, which is absolutely amazing. Here's the thing, the Ancient Construct only spawns in about once a week. And finally, if you don't feel like fighting anything, you can always farm bars in Port City, doing the assist every single day. The building that you want to be assisting here is the Frontier HQ, and this right here, you have a 10% drop rate of 1 bar. I honestly wouldn't rely on this. It's not that great. I think I've gotten a total of at least 2 bars from this. It is insane. And finally, what I believe everyone is chasing after is how to get gears. Gears are very, very important due to needing TKs, buoys, unit promotions, and just so many other things later on. To obtain gears, you want to be looking at doing missions. There are a few decent amount of missions that actually give you a decent amount of gears. That being said, Siege of Marin gives actually 1 gear, which I think it might be your first ever gear. I could be wrong, unless you get super lucky assisting with Recoil Ridge. But doing missions, you actually get a decent amount of gears. After Siege of Marin, doing a lot of the naval missions give you a ton of gears, like Spice Girls or Thanks, we'll clean up our own mess anyways, and etc, etc. And as mentioned earlier before, you could actually assist Recoil Ridge's vehicle factories for a drop rate of 10% for 1 gear. Again, this is kind of like bars. There's some people who have gotten out of the gear drought somehow, some way, with 10% per day, and let me tell you, I have so much respect for you guys. But if you don't want to be sitting there every single day waiting for the assist, well, you can obviously do Sovereign Navy. Now, with the Sovereign Navy, you have a drop rate of 8% for 1 to 2 gears. And finally, you can also do some of the bosses, which one of them being the Dreadnought, with a drop rate of 100% for a chance to 4 to 8 gears. And finally, what everyone is technically trying to grind gears for is the Ancient Construct, which has a drop rate of 100% for 20 whole gears. Isn't it kind of weird that you need gears to buy tank killers so you can kill the Ancient Construct 4 gears? If this video helped you, subscribe, leave a like, comment down below what else you want to see or need help with, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!